Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and guys, I know it's the second day in a row and I just can't care. We have another foundation review to get to and I'm ecstatic. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm gonna start off by saying, per usual, there is some sort of a dump truck slash tractor situation. I don't know if they're having a truck pull. I don't know what's going on, but there is some sort of a garbage receptacle out there and it is beeping and beeping and beeping and beeping. I've already been filming for 17 and a half minutes and it's just solid beeping from the outdoors. So I don't know what's going on, but if you guys end up hearing that or you catch a little bit of it, I apologize. I will do my best to edit around it. However, nothing is going to derail us from the beauty that is a new foundation. Now, like I just said, we did go in yesterday and review the new one from Urban Decay. I will of course link that up there for you guys in case you missed it. New, hot on the market, and I actually quite enjoyed it, so you can go ahead and check that out. Before today's video, we are going to be focusing on these little ditties right here, the newest foundation release from A Dose of Colors, as you saw in the title. This is their new Meet Your Hue medium to full coverage foundation, and I picked it up in two shades, 105 and 110, and we're just going to dive in, do a wear test, and per usual, we are just going to dive to the bottom of, is this foundation good? Does it work for my skin? Normal to oily? What do I think of the coverage? Do their claims make sense? We're really going to debunk a lot of things today, and that's just one of the things I love about foundation reviews. It gives me a chance to be kind of like zazzy, kind of like in it, you know what I mean? I don't know, I love it. Now, let's go ahead and also, oh, real quick, guys. Ooh, girl's in a weird mood. Yo, look at this big old sponge. Oh my God. I got a new one. This is also from Dose of Colors. Ooh, girl, she's a $15 beauty sponge. So obviously it isn't like on the cheap side, especially if you're used to purchasing Real Techniques, which is my favorite go-to sponge if you are looking for one on the drugstore side. But this, oh my God, it is so soft. Guys, this is the first sponge that I have tried that was a high-end sponge that even feels close to my Fenty sponge. It is so soft and supple. This is, of course, wet. Now, I wouldn't say that this little sponge doubled in size per se. I would say it was more like a 30 to 40% increase. All right, so going into the foundation review, I am, of course, on the doseofcolors.com website, and this foundation retails for $36. You do get one full fluid ounce. And then diving down into the description here, it says, our lightweight medium to full coverage foundation delivers a blurring effect which reduces the appearance of fine lines and skin imperfections. It says in their little about it, vegan, cruelty-free, talc-free, paraben-free, oil-free, and fragrance-free. Woo, girl, we're free of everything. We're free in all the cages today, honey. Now, over on the trend mood side here, it does say there are 42 shades. I just want to double check my math. I counted all the little dots, but you guys, look, do you think this brain can really count to 42 that easily? I mean, come on. It's a lot. But they do say 42 shades, 6 shade categories, 7 shades per category. They have fair, light, light medium, medium tan, dark, and deep. Trend Mood also says a natural matte finish, high pigment, lightweight, and long wear, and all the other stuff that we already read. Okay, let's go ahead and dive in. Hello, why can I not get this out the box? Hello, what is happening? Like, I feel like I'm fighting. Useful. Oh my gosh, you guys, the component on this is a paperweight. Wow, this feels nice. It is a solid glass component, nice frosted bottle here, really nice soft touch black cap. I am a fan of this, honey. Meet your hue. Meet your hue. All right, girl, I'm gonna meet my hue. I'm all about it. Let's test this first color out here. This is in the shade 105. Oh my God, with the pump. Oh yes. So here is 105, quite light with a, I would say, more neutral pink undertone. And then this shade right here is 110 light. Could I have picked up two more different shades of foundation? This one is much more like neutral warm, and then this one is light neutral pink. Out of these two shades, here's the conundrum for me. I feel like they are oxidizing a little bit, and if I go with this one, girl, I don't know if that's not going to be a scandalous situation, but if I go with this one, I feel like I'm going to look pink like a little tiny cupcake. And wearing this shirt, I feel like I've already got some cupcake-esque vibes going on, and I might set myself up for failure either way here. I don't know, guys. I'm going to table this decision for once again. Oh, I can tell you about my primers. Okay, I already have 2 primers on the skin. This is also something, if you are new here, I do in every video. I like to prime both sides separately. That way we can test out different primers as well with different foundations. So on this side, I have my control variable, my Tatcha Silk Canvas. I use this in every single video, again, just as a good pore smoothing control. It doesn't really make me overly matte. It doesn't make me dewy. It's just a good neutral line foundation that fills in my pores. And then on the other side, I went in with my NYX Bear With Me Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Radiant Perfecting Primer, and I used this in my full face of What's New with NYX. I will link it up here, and I really go through, talk about it, and I thought for today's video, it would be kind of cool because this is more of a natural matte finish, so we can kind of see on this side of of my face, how it has a little bit of shine to it. All right, now that really didn't delay this process in deciding by very long. So here's what I want to do. Now that this has just kind of sat here and dried for a second, I want to take a little bit of each just to see if they have oxidized. Oh, wow. So that's a fresh swatch of 105 next to the one that's been sitting there for what, 5 minutes, if that. And let's go ahead here and do a fresh swatch of the other. Wow. Guys, I don't know how well that's picking up on camera, but it's like a solid shade and a half. That just makes it more, you know what, I'm gonna mix two of these just like for funsies here. I want to mix the two together because you know what, it might not be bad. Okay, you know what? Maybe mixing the two together. Maybe we're on to something here. Maybe we can do this. All right, so I just went in 1 pump of each here. And let's start with that. I think this could work out. All right, I'm gonna go in first with their little sponge and try applying this here. Get out my little palette and go in. Oh my God, this sponge feels so nice. Wow, you guys, dare I say, 1 pass, very nice medium coverage, but girl, this earring gots to go. Also, Paige, the other earring would have to go as well because you have 2 sides to your face. Well done. All right, let's just build that up a touch here. All right, so I did just have to go in already and make a fresh batch of foundation. So the first 2 pumps, 1 from each color, is what is right here, and I already ran out. So I went ahead and I did another pump from each color. And let's go ahead and apply it on this side. All right, so after getting this all applied, I think you can see, even while I'm applying it, that this has a very beautiful dewy finish, no matter which side of the primer you are on, which I think is really beautiful. Just for application purposes, I feel like it's going on so easy and so fluid. Now, I am thinking, though, that this will dry down to that more natural matte finish, so I don't want to take a ton of time in between this and concealer. I really want to see how everything blends out while it's still kind of in this dewy stage. And also, by the way, if you are curious as to why I did not use a brush, this is a very thin liquid foundation, and I can't use a foundation that's this thin with a brush anyways. It leaves streaks all over the place, so that's why I didn't do it. Plus, I was really enjoying this squishy ass little sponge here. I'm so excited to blend out my concealer, girl. Tarte Shape Tape, Porcelain Beige, let's go. Put it all over the face, shape it out, and try to correct a little bit of this oxidizing, which is happening oh so rapidly. Oh my word, you guys, if you were wondering like what next level smooth my face looked like right now, wonder no farther. It looks so beautiful. I really like that this foundation, that dewiness kind of subsided. We're definitely diving into the more natural matte finish right now, and it looks so nice. Speaking of which, the dry down on this is, oh wow, not very much. It's drying down by maybe 20 to 30%. It is still very tacky, so even if you don't like to set your foundation, I have a feeling to blend on top of this, you will have to set it at least a little bit, because girl, she is still very tacky. But other than that, I really do like it so far. I mean, I don't have an issue with that personally, because as you guys know, I set my foundation, which for that I'm going to use the Hourglass translucent setting powder. This is one of my favorite setting powders. I literally use it all the time. It's so good. I'm going to go ahead first, per usual, and set the under eyes as well as my little Hulk crease. And to do that, let's go ahead and blend the under eyes out one last time, because girl, you're never going to set a crease. Then we're just going to pick up some of this powder, pop it under there, which the shape of this sponge is working wonderfully for, by the way. And then to set the rest of the face, I'm just going to go in here with my powder puff and make sure it is good and rubbed in, and then lightly press and pack. God, that feels great. And it looks so good. Do you guys hear that loud tractor out there? I know I'm not crazy. You have to be able to hear that. I just really like to offer you guys the full Northern Michigan experience, complete with tractor, obviously. I'm just a good YouTuber. I'm really trying to set the tone for you guys, for my life. Really invite you in. Oh, it's getting louder because it's closer. And once I went through and I've lightly set it in with the puff, I like to take my JH01 here and I grab a tiny little dusting of the powder and I lightly set my double chin area, because y'all, nothing worse than sticky foundation on your double chin. I don't care what anybody says. Oh my God. Like you do this and it like sticks together like flypaper. Honey, no, set that business. All right, guys, now while they're outside finishing up the rest of whatever they are moving around, as what tractors do, they are doing, I suppose, I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my face, and I'll check back on here once everything is on, set down, and we're gonna do a final up close, but so far so good. So let me go ahead and finish up everything and I will be right back. Okay, you guys, everything is on the face, and I have to be honest with you, I love the way this looks. Like normally I tell you guys I have to wait, everything has to kind of settle and sink into the skin, but up close, let's go ahead and throw that in for you guys right now. Up close, this is looking so beautiful. It looks nice, smooth. My pores are looking nice and minimized. Everything settled in beautifully once I went went in and sprayed it down. I feel like over the planes of my face, everything looks really nice. Now I am only seeing one small issue, and that's around the mouth. I'm not sure if you guys can really see that on camera or not, but around my mouth, per usual, it does look a little bit dry or a little bit matte in that area. It's not uncommon for me, but just something to throw out there. But other than that, I'm not having any issues with settling or cakiness, and it's looking pretty dang nice for not being, again, on my skin and really warmed up yet. I do think between the two sides so far, the Tatcha side does look a little bit better. It looks nice and smooth, but both sides are looking pretty good at this point. I do also want to run through with you real quick though what I am wearing, because I know I'm going to get questions about this eye look. It was so easy, and let me just tell you real quick, I used the Stila. This is one of their new Suede shades. This is in Violet Velvet. I took that all through the crease, and I did do a full video. I have all, what is it, 8 shades of these in a video. I do eye swatches and all of that, so I will link that video for you guys. I think it went up 2 weeks ago, I want to say, so definitely check that out. But I put that all through the crease, and then on the lids, you guys know I'm obsessed with my Pixi Glow On Layering Palette, the one that they collabed with Rach Loves on, and I wanted to play around with this purple shade, so I put that all over the mobile lid, and then in the center of it, to brighten it up, I took the shade Lace and popped that in the center. It was so easy, and it's so gorgeous. And this is also what I highlighted with. Of course, it's like the only palette I own apparently. All right, and then for bronzer, usual BH Cosmetics Brilliance bronzer. And then for blush, I use this right here. This is the Pixi Glow Cake in GildedBare Glow, and I use the center portion just for a little light peachy shimmer. And then just for lips, I went in with a tiny bit of the Colourpop lip liner here in Oh Snap, and then a little bit as well of the Huda Power Bullet in Rendezvous, I'm gonna go with Rendezvous. This shade right here, really beautiful, but I kind of mixed the two together. I wanted like a little bit more of a custom shade. And then I used the only gloss that I own as well, apparently, because it's literally the only one I've used in the past week. This is the Patrick Ta She's Expensive gloss, and girl, I love her. Oh, and also, by the way, for anybody keeping track, I've had this shirt for 12 seconds, and I leaned over to turn the camera on, and I might have dunked my entire boob right here in my beauty sponge, which of course is covered in foundation. So I'm gonna go address this as well as the rest of my life off of camera, and I'll check in with you guys, of course, if anything happens, I need to touch up, spray, anything like that. But until then, you guys, let's go ahead, do the day, and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, it is officially the end of the day, and girl, we are going to have a discussion because I have been wearing this foundation on my face for over 11 hours. I don't know what happened. My day got so away from me, and before I knew it, we were here, and I'm like, holy crap, how is this foundation review going to go? And guys, I went up close, and I am so impressed with how this wore. Let's go ahead and throw up the up close right now for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and look at it on my end, and we can kind of go over what I'm thinking. But first off, let's talk about how freaking smooth this foundation still looks all over my face. On the cheeks, even up in my more textured areas, up by my nose, that entire area looks so smooth. You will see a little bit of breakage, I would say, around the mouth, on the chin. That's not uncommon at all for me. Again, on the sides, maybe a little bit of settling, but not too much. Where my smile lines are concerned, you'll see a little bit of breakage on my nose, on the sides. I'll get into that here in a second. That's mainly just from oil, but again, we'll address that here in a minute. On the top, I don't even see a ton of settling into my fine lines or my Hulk crease. You guys, I could not be more impressed with how this thing wore overall on my face. Now, there are a couple of things that I don't love about it, but again, just kind of getting down and like breaking into the nitty gritties. I do love, let's kind of start there, the wear of this looks gorgeous. It has looked so nice and smooth all day long. It really did set down like a dream. I have no issues with that. It did get a little bit more oily than I would like on both sides, so it's not just a Tatcha and it's not just a NYX primer thing. It is both sides, so I do think that this kind of maybe starts off on like the natural matte, but it does kind of get me a little bit dewy, a little bit glowy throughout the day. Now, what I do like about that though, just from the flip side of things, is that if you are normal to oily or normal to dry, I do think you'll be able to get some use out of this foundation, because even though it starts off as a natural matte, that natural matte really does relax into the day and let your natural warmth or oils or whatever you have to offer, that kind of just like to come through the skin. And that is something that's really really valuable when you're trying to work with multiple skin types across the board. So something to note. Now, for me, did it get a little too oily? Yes. At this point, I would say it's pretty obvious. I'm like oily on my chin. I have a little bit of oil through here that I would probably press away. My nose is a straight up oil slick, and my forehead, you know, it's a little oily, but not too bad. So overall, it's a little bit too oily for me, but I also really love like a nice dewy, healthy look. And I do think this foundation is giving me that at the end of the day. So overall, again, gets a little oily, lets some oil kind of come through. It's not awful, but I'm also not super oily anymore. So if you are on the very, very oily end of the spectrum, there's something to consider there for you. But to the converse, if you are on the dry side of things, there's also a little bit of give there for you, because at the beginning I did mention you will probably have to set this, otherwise it will be tacky. So again, there's a little bit of an ebb and flow with this foundation that I am really, really liking. The other thing that I didn't love about this, I'm going to be straight up honest from the very beginning, the oxidizing was a situation that I had a hard time getting under control. Now, once I did get it applied and I kind of adjusted it to fit, it did not continue to oxidize. So if you can get it to that oxidized point, or if it oxidizes on you, let it just settle in for like a minute or two, kind of get to that darker level, and then try to work with it. Or if you're swatching this in store and you haven't purchased it yet, something to consider when you swatch it, maybe swatch it, walk around for 5 minutes, and then look at it and see what that color looks like on your skin. Because again, on me, this did oxidize. I would say probably a full shade and a half. But by mixing those two together, that did seem to help. But something that I did want to mention, just because I wore these a day apart from each other, so it really did give me a lot to compare. The Urban Decay one I mentioned several times is a very breathable, lightweight feeling, and also lightweight, natural looking on the skin. And this one from Dose of Colors definitely does not give me that vibe. There were several times actually today that while I was looking in a mirror, or, you know, in my phone or whatever, I kind of thought to myself like, wow, that does look a little bit heavy. And I think that all depends on your makeup preference. You know, if you don't mind looking like you are wearing that full beat, you won't mind that at all. But this is one of those foundations that does tend to look a little bit heavier, a little bit more caked on. I don't want to say caked on in a negative term, but just compared to the natural, more breathable version that we had yesterday with the Urban Decay, and you guys could kind of see how like how light and airy that one looked versus this one. There's definitely that difference. And I'm not really sure ever if that's the kind of thing that comes across on camera or not, because I always feel like I look the same. And so if there's ever anything like that that's a little bit more personal, like as far as what I can see that maybe you can't, I do like to throw that in there. And guys, before I go too, I just wanted to throw out there this little sponge from Dose of Colors that was released. I love this sponge. I mean, the shape of it, depending on how you like to hold your sponge and what you use it for, you may or may not like, but I can tell you right now, the texture of this is fantastic. It is so light and squishy. It pressed my foundation in beautifully, and like I said, the closest thing I have found to my Fenty sponge as far as texture, consistency, and all of that goes. Now, the tip of it could be a little bit too pointy depending on your preference, but in my opinion, that is splitting hairs. I really like this. I would actually, at this point, depending on how well it washes and how many uses I can get out of it, because girl, I'm not going to spend $15 on a sponge if it dies right away. But if this lasts the same length of time as a Fenty and gives me just as many washes and uses, girl, I would buy this again in a heartbeat. I love this texture so much. Again, I'm not saying you have to have it or the Fenty one. You could go Real Techniques or e.l.f. because there are a ton of other brands and affordable sponges you can get. But if you're curious, girl, I love this texture. All right, you guys, I'm going to stop here. I'm trying to make my videos just a freckle shorter for you guys. I do notice, by the way, because I have analytics that break down every video, and it seems like a lot of you in the comments will tell me you like a longer video, but as an overall sum, there's a lot of people that prefer videos that are maybe right around like the I would say like 15, 18 minute range, maybe to like the 20-minute range. And lately my videos have been drifting like a little bit longer than that. So depending on the video, I am going to try to like start cutting them back a little bit, just so that way you guys can enjoy them for the full length without feeling like you need to skip around. And that's just something that as a creator, I try to watch the analytics and I try to really gauge what you guys are looking for. But feel free to leave me all of your thoughts down below if you love the full video, if you'd like them a little shorter. But all right, you guys, that is it for real this time. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget, leave me your thoughts down below. Check me out on Instagram and on Twitter, because y'all, they are both linked down there. And if you haven't done so yet, of course, remember you can subscribe and turn on your post notifications right down below, because I do upload 5 videos a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They go up bright and early between 6 and 7 a.m. my time here in Northern Michigan. And yeah, that's really it, you guys. Bright, early, fun, fresh content, new stuff, whatever is recently released, we throw in full faces, things we love, things we don't love, and a sprinkle of everything in between. So subscribe, turn on your post notifications if that sounds like something you are into. And you guys, that is it. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Oh my God. Thank you. Start your truck and now leave with it. Start it and leave. You're halfway there. Leaving. I want you all the way gone. I think I look so pretty. I think I look so nice. I think my skin is looking fly. Ooh. What's the name of that purple shade? Zipper. Zipper. Zip, 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 zipper. Zip, 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 zipper. Zip, 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 zipper. 42 shades! Wow, what noise was that, Paige? 42 shades! And zipper, and zipper, 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 ooh, zipper, ay, zipper, 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 ooh. You are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorrows, Clementine. My darling, my darling, my darling, Clementine. Okay, literally, was this rat tail here all day, or does it just like come on talk randomly? It's like a ninja rat tail, like out of nowhere, it's just like, we're here to like slay your ratty dreams.